Hello there, welcome to Go Natural English. I am so excited you're here today because today we're going to solve a really important problem that has been tearing me up inside, meaning it makes me sad and frustrated when I see a really smart English learner like you in a group of English speakers and you're not speaking. So this makes me mad, not at you, but it makes me mad that you don't have the tools to interrupt and to join that conversation. So today, I'm going to give you not one, not two, but 75 ways to interrupt politely in any English conversation. So this is going to solve this problem once and for all, and I'm going to see you more fluent and way more confident by the end of this lesson. Now, as you watch this video, I want you to repeat all the words and phrases after me. Then, after you watch the video, I want you to practice these with a real person. So, I recommend that you do this with our sponsor, Lingoda. Lingoda is an online language school that offers English, Spanish, French, and German courses with native-speaking English teachers. And the really cool thing is you could practice your interrupting skills in a group class, because I know this is more difficult when you're speaking with multiple people in a group setting. Or you could practice with one-on-one lessons. So the group classes are available on Adobe Connect. The one-on-one lessons they do on Skype. But regardless, you can take classes 24 hours a day, anytime, accessible from anywhere. So it's perfect no matter where you live. As long as you have the internet, you're good. And an additional bonus, if you're applying for university or a visa, for example, you get a CEFR certificate after you complete a certain number of hours with Lingoda courses, generally 30 to 40 hours. So this is a great way to practice your interruption skills politely in order to join any conversation in English. Click on the link in the description to go to Lingoda and enter the coupon code that's in the description. So let me share 75 ways for you to do this so that you never hesitate to join any English conversation again. All right, let's begin. Before we learn interjections, which are ways to interrupt in a conversation, I want to make a point. You need to have something to say. You need to have a purpose. Don't just interrupt and then say nothing. Plan ahead a little bit what you're going to say, or just keep it really simple. You could just show your understanding, or you could agree or disagree. But it's a good idea to be ready to follow up your interjection with something to say. If someone is talking and talking and talking really fast and they don't give you any time to join the conversation, then try to wait for them to pause at the end of a phrase or to take a breath. I mean, eventually they have to breathe, right? So that's a great time to politely jump into a conversation. Okay. First of all, let's begin with attention getters. Attention getters are categories of words that don't really have any meaning, but we use them all the time, even more often than regular vocabulary words, to get other people's attention. So number one is not even a word. I'm sorry, but it's a great way to interject into a conversation. It is to clear your throat. Go ahead, repeat. Next. 3. 4. 5. Oh. Well. So. Hey. Now, hey is a little bit casual. So as we go, I'll point out different words or phrases that are more formal or more casual. Number 9, say someone's name in the conversation. So for example, James. And then, of course, you're going to follow that up with the purpose of why you're interrupting. For example, James, that's a great idea. 10, guys. So guys can be used in a group of men or women, or just men, or just women, or both. It doesn't matter. And 11 is the formal version of guys, ladies and gentlemen. So only use this in really formal situations or when you're trying to be funny in a casual situation. Guys can be used in pretty much any conversation, but it's not super formal. So just try to observe a little bit and see if it would be appropriate if other people are saying guys. Otherwise, you might want to substitute this with everyone. For example, everyone, I think that's a great idea. Everyone is appropriate in professional situations. Next, number 12, we're going to talk about several phrases you can use to add information. I need to add something here. Can I just say something here? Now, this is a question. Don't wait for a response. You don't need permission. This is just a way to get people's attention, so you can go right into what you'd like to say. Can I just say something here? I think that's a great idea. 14, can I just add something here? 15, may I add? I'd like to add. Let me add something. That reminds me. For this one, you'd want to tell a connected or related story or piece of information. For example, that reminds me, we need to prepare the report for next week. Next up, we have several phrases that are literally asking to interrupt in a conversation. So let's go. Let me interrupt a second. Or in faster, more casual English, let me interrupt a second. I'm sorry to interrupt, but. I don't mean to interrupt, but. Sorry for interrupting, but. Can I stop you there for a moment? Can I just butt in for a second? Can I just mention something? Excuse me for interrupting, but. Excuse me, I'd like to say something. Excuse me for butting in, but. That's a lot of but. Just a moment, I'd like to. Next, we have several phrases to jump in, a phrasal verb that means to join a conversation. Let me jump in, or let me jump in. But again, we blend sounds together and it'll sound like let me jump in. Do you mind if I jump in here? Can I jump in here? Do you mind if I come in here? I don't mean to intrude, but. Now this one is more for joining a conversation that you're not already part of, like if you overhear other people talking and you want to join their conversation. I don't mean to be rude, but. And this one is also for joining a conversation that you're not already part of. May I interject? This one is super formal and never used, so I don't recommend using it, but it's good to know. Now, if you're in a meeting or in a class, you might like these next phrases. Before we move on to the next points, may I add, before you move on, I'd like to say something. Before you go on, I'd like to say something. And we have, pardon me. Now, I personally never use pardon me. I don't know if it's more British English or just old school, but I can tell you it's not used as often as excuse me. Now, you can also use asking for clarification as the perfect way to interrupt in a conversation. So you could ask, could you clarify that? Sorry, could you explain that a little more? Do you mean that? And then when you use this one, you need to summarize what you understand the person has already said. So, for example, do you mean that you think that's a great idea? Would you tell us a little bit more about that? Could you clarify that last point before we move on? Would you mind explaining that a little more? Could you explain that more fully? Next, let's look at phrases for asking for time, for example, to jump into a conversation. Hold on, just a minute. Wait, what about? Can we just pause a second? Let's see. One quick thing. Just one thing. Just let me say. Listen. Next, sharing your opinion is a great way to interject in a conversation. So let's look at a few ways to do that. I think. I agree. I disagree. I don't agree. I'm not sure about that. That's great. That's interesting. Now, be careful with your tone. Your tone has to match your meaning. That's interesting is very different than that's interesting. Do you hear the difference? I hope so. You can also interrupt to bring other people into the conversation. Reach out to others who are quiet in a group. For example, what's your opinion, James? What do you think, James? James, do you agree? As far as I'm concerned, personally, I believe, the way I see it, that's right, that's correct. One of my favorite words to use as an introduction is actually. Finally, you could use suggestions to interrupt. It would be interesting to, why don't we, how about, and finally, you don't need to say any of these words or phrases. You can just say what you want to say. Just speak up and jump in a conversation. However, I think these 75 words and phrases will really help you to jump in and to combat those fast and loud speakers that never allow you time to jump in. Well, sometimes you need to jump in and take it for yourself. So be brave, be fearless, and learn to use at least some, if not all, of these awesome 75 words and phrases to interrupt in any English conversation. You deserve to join, and other people want you to join the conversation. So don't be shy. Jump in today. I highly recommend that you practice using these ways to interrupt and try Lingoda today. There's a link in the description right down there, and a coupon code for you to get a discount on your language course today. So try it out. I really want you guys to participate more in English conversations. It'll make me super happy and proud of you. I'm already happy and proud of you for being part of the Go Natural English community, and I want to thank you for watching here at Go Natural English. Make sure that you've subscribed by clicking right over there. And if you want to learn all my best tips, you can get the English Fluency Formula, the ebook, by clicking right up there. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Until next time. Bye for now.